All right, so hang on tight for this question. I will go a little bit slower for this one, so to make sure that you get this, okay? All right, so let's first define the word conjugate, okay? The purpose of using a conjugate is when you look and you see this, there's this bottom number, okay? It's like a fraction and there's a imaginary number down here, okay? You use the conjugate to get rid of that. And the reason why we need to get rid of that is, this is what the question gives us, and they tell us that an imaginary number is equal to the square root of -1. Okay, which is why we just leave it as I. But anytime you square I, then it'll just be -1. So my tip for you guys is, anytime you see a I squared, plug in for -1, but if you just see a regular I, just leave it as I, because you don't want to be messing with all of this stuff, okay? So anyway, they say that this expression is written in the form, we need to put it into this form, A plus BI. Do you guys see any kind of fraction here? No. And that's why this needs to get transformed to this. How do you do that? You take the conjugate. So what the conjugate is multiplying both sides of the fraction with the opposite sign. And in this case, it's going to be 3 plus 2i. You get that? That's the opposite sign. And you wanted to do it to both sides. So I'm going to do that. 3 plus 2i, 3 plus 2i. And again, you know that during the teach back, I'm going to ask you, why did you do that? And you have to tell me the answer, which is, I'm doing that because I'm trying to get rid of the I on the bottom. Because in the given form that I need to write it in, there's no I on the bottom, okay? So let's take this and let's work at it, okay? Okay, so now what I need to do is I got to distribute. I'm going to go 8i times 3, which is going to be 24i, and then 8i times that is going to be plus 16i squared. Okay, and what did I say again that you should do every single time? Oh, sorry, I wrote this incorrectly. It's 8 minus I, okay? So 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 times 2i is going to be plus 16i. Then I'm going to go negative I times 3 is negative 3i. Negative I plus 2i is going to be negative 2i squared. Okay? So let me just check my work. 24 plus 16i minus, and we could combine these, guys. Equals negative 2i squared. Okay? Over, let's do the one on the bottom. 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times positive 2i is positive 6i. And then we go the inside now. Negative 2i times 3 is negative 6i. Negative 2i times positive is still a negative, but 4i squared. Notice, see, this is what I'm talking about, where the conjugate crosses the i's out. Plus 6i minus 6i cancels out. Okay, so now we're left with, I'm going to simplify this to 24 plus, and then this is going to be 16i minus 3, so it's going to be plus 13i minus 2i squared. And then right here we're going to have 9 plus negative 4i squared. Okay, or basically 9 minus 4i squared. So now since we've created this, remember what I told you right here? Anytime you have a regular I, just leave it there. But anytime you have an I squared, which we have, and I'm going to use a highlighter here so I could show you. I got an I squared there, I got an I squared here. Anytime you see an I squared, plug in the -1, okay, to take care of that. So it's going to go 24 plus 13i minus 2 times -1, right here, okay? So I took care of that. I'm doing that just to keep track of my own work. 9 minus 4 times, right here, -1. So now we can join this together. This is going to be 24 plus 13i That's going to be plus 2. So these two will combine now. Okay, but let's take care of the bottom. This is going to be negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. 9 plus 4. Okay, so that's going to be 13. So we'll do that down here. So it's going to be 24 plus 2 is 26 plus 13i over 13. Okay, and this could be written, I'm going to take it right over here. That could be written as 26 over 13 plus 13i over 13. So you could cancel this into that by making it 2. And then that is going to be plus I. Okay? They want to know original form is a plus bi. So a plus bi. The i's and the i's are right here. The b must just be a 1. And the 2 is a. And therefore a equals 2.